You're welcome back. President Akufo Addo has accepted the nomination of Mr. Kissi Agyebeng as Special Prosecutor and has written a letter to the Speaker of Parliament, Right Honourable Alban Bagbin, seeking Parliament's approval of the appointment. President Akufo Addo accepted the resignation from the office of Martin Amidu as a Special Prosecutor on the 16th of November 2020, and in accordance with Section 13(8) of the Office of Special Prosecutor Act 2017, Act 959, he is required to appoint a replacement within 6 months of the position becoming vacant. To this end, the Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Dame on the 16th of April nominated Mr. Agyebeng under Section 13(3) of Act 959 to the President for consideration as the second occupant of the Office of Special Prosecutor. Joining us on the phone is anti-graft campaigner Vitus Azim. Mr. Azim, thank you for your time. Does the approval and acceptance of the nomination by the President come to you as a surprise?
Well, no, I don't think so, because I don't believe that the Attorney General could have just on his own decided on Mr. Kissi Agyebeng without discussing it with the President. I think it was just a formality that they were going through. So I'm not really surprised that the President has accepted. Although, of course, concerns were raised when the man's name popped up, and people gave various reasons. And some of us thought that, well, maybe the President needed to give a second thought to that the nomination, considering the issues that had come up. But of course, as I said, I believe that the President would have already more or less endorsed it before it was made public.
Now he will be vetted by Parliament. What are the areas and issues that you would expect Parliament to probe when he comes before them?
Well, I think one has to do with his partisanship, whether he belongs to any party, he has any affiliation, the registered member of any party at all. Two has to do with his involvement in things that were before the Office of Special Prosecutor as a lawyer in his professional capacity, whether he was involved in it or not. His stance with regards to deals like the Japa deal and other deals that were in the public domain that people were raising concerns about. I think basically these are the three things that Parliament should concentrate on or would concentrate on. Of course, his personal life, his integrity, whether he's a family person, whether he's married, how many wives he has had, how many children outside wedlock. Some of those questions may come up, but I don't think they are very serious questions.
Now, of course, he will be expected to take over an office that Mr. Amidu ran for almost 2 years, if I recall correctly. Do you envisage any difficulties similar to the ones Mr. Amidu faced when he was there, in terms of getting it up and running, procurement processes that he had to go through in order to get the equipment and personnel that the office needed to get up on its feet, locating an office, all of that? Do you expect Mr. Agyebeng to face similar challenges if he sails through and becomes the next Special Prosecutor?
I expect that, like any government institution, there are going to be problems with budget allocations. But I believe that they will give him priority, considering the fact that Martin Amidu was a member of an opposition party, and probably was put there to get the confidence and the trust of Ghanaians with regards to the office. And this person is probably put there for very different reasons. As we were hearing after his nomination became public, his relationship with the Attorney General and even with the party, and his involvement in somehow the Japa deal and other similar cases. I think that he is considered like a friend to the current government, and so even though there might be some problems with logistics and budget allocations, they will not be as serious as the problems that Mr. Martin Amidu faced.
Now, as an anti-graft campaigner, you certainly are a practitioner in the space. In your professional opinion, will Mr. Kissi Agyebeng have the capacity to be an impartial and objective special prosecutor who will serve the nation rather than the party that you consider him to be a friend of?
As I have said several times before, I don't know him personally. I've not interacted with him personally. But like a human being, he was going to really face, it's going to be very difficult for him to carry out his mandate, to be bold enough to resist attempts to influence him or even to direct him to do things the way that government and other stakeholders, certain people will want. It's going to be difficult. And so it will require some amount of strength on his part, some amount of integrity on his part, some amount of boldness on his part for him to be able to actually perform to the satisfaction of many Ghanaians. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's unable to do that.
You won't be surprised if he's not able to do that?
Yes.
Right. Now, the anti-corruption community, if you will, had been talking for such a long time about who will replace Martin Amidu. Who were your personal picks, if you like? Who would you have been pleased to see nominated by the Attorney General?
I have resisted the temptation of giving my personal views on who should have been the one that will be picked. Because one, I'm not in the capacity to do that, and we are a country of 30 million people. It will be very unfair for me to come out with one or two names saying, no, it will have been this person. Because you see, when we are in civil society, we're making a lot of noise. The situation tends to be different when we get into some of these positions. And so I think it will not be proper for me to just come out with a name and say, oh, because I know this person, he's going to do it better. I don't have that guarantee, and I don't want to get involved in that.
Well, I mean, to be fair, this is your area of expertise, so it's an expert opinion I'm asking for, especially at a time when the president has accepted a nomination anyway. So it's not like your opinion can affect the president's choice at this stage. It's just to illustrate the qualities that you would have expected to see in this office.
Well, I will take my Fourth Amendment. I don't want to comment on that.
Okay. Mr. Vitus Azim, I appreciate your time. I think you were referring to the Fifth Amendment of the United States Constitution, but I think I get the point. Thank you very much for speaking to us. Vitus Azim there is an anti-graft campaigner.